the undefiled in the way, who walk not in the law of the I am. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I be not ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. I will praise thee with upright of heart. When shall I have learned thy righteous judgments? I will keep thy statutes. O forsake me not utterly. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto, according to thy word. With my whole heart have I sought thee. O let me not wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Yahweh. Teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies as much as in all riches. I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. I will delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. Deal bountifully with thy servant, that I may live and keep thy word. Open thou mine eyes, that I might behold wondrous things out of thy law. I am a stranger in the earth. Hide not thy commandments from me. My soul breaketh for the longing that it hath unto thy judgment at all times. Psalms chapter 119, verses 1 through 20. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We thank God for you, and you. And you're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay, and we just thank God. And we thank God for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, those of you who have been with us here and there's about, and those of you who have just incognito or whatever, peeked in, took a look. Yes, we thank God for you too. And those of you who are about to subscribe, we thank God for you, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes. We're in the book of First Chronicles. First Chronicles and chapter 19. Yes, as you prepare. And it's talking, we're going back to the first part. You understand that when you read the book starts from the book of Enoch. That's the first book of the Bible. Let's get it right. The book of Enoch. Some of you just been so hornswoggled you don't even know what you hid from your tail. But the first book of the Bible is the book of Enoch. Now we're in First Chronicles, and none of them all in chronological order. This is not a chronological order from what we just previously read. But it's really getting into the Chronicles of King David. Yes, this is the Chronicles of King David. Also, he's going back into his past and things that have happened. Yes. Now, we're going to start in verse 1. Now, after it came to pass after this that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, died, and his son reigned in his stead. And David said, I will show kindness unto Hanan, the son of Nahash, because of his father who showed kindness to me. And David sent messengers to comfort him concerning his father. So the servants of David came into the land of the children of Ammon to Hanan to comfort him. Yes, that's good. Your neighbor. See, you're talking on a national level. This is a leader that is king over a whole people. Now he's going to show his condolences to another king. Yes. But the princes of the children of Ammon said to Hanun, thinkest thou that David doth honor thy father, that he have sent comforters unto thee? Are not his servants come unto thee for to search and to overthrow and to spy out the land? Wherefore Hanun took David's servants and shaved them and cut off their garments in the midst of their buttocks, in the midst hard by their buttocks, and sent them away. And this, to view this in your imagination is quite funny, but either way, it was a shame to them. Then there went, you have to realize these people think just as those of Egypt, those of sub-Saharan Africa and Saharan Africa at that time, which was lush green pastures. Yes. Don't even go by the people that say this was millions of years ago. No, it wasn't millions of years ago. The Sahara Desert, it became desertified thousands of years ago. Yes, we can say that, but not millions. Because you have to realize that the argument is that they say it's millions, but you have another faction in this carbon dating that says your carbon dating don't take us back to no more than about 7,000 years. Rounds about 37,000 years. So you have to take this carbon dating with a grain of salt when you get into how many years somebody. Now see, this is a tool of Satan's. The Satans have concocted this tool in the minds of these people to lie. This is what it is. Carbon dating is nothing but a blatant lie. But it's concocted to a point where you believe it because they can do these experiments and sort of bamboozle you. And some of them are bamboozling themselves because just the process itself, this is inconclusive. Because they spend so much money on that education, maybe that might be the problem. But either way, then there went a certain and told David how the men were, in verse 5, were served, and he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. In other words, he's saying they cut off part of your hair, they cut your beard off. This a beard for a child of Jacob. It means a lot. It's a natural occurrence for a man to grow a beard. It's natural. Yes, to grow a beard is natural. Not like the Egyptians, who they say were bald-faced, but it's a natural pride of manhood. Just as a lion has his mane, so a man has his beard. Yes. But we've grown so accustomed to seeing the business world and these pagans who deem it unclean to have a beard, in their perspective, have really turned nature backwards. And even some of the, let's say, monkeys or chip factors, they have beards. I think it's the baboon or the chimpanzee, they will have beards eventually, yes. You don't cut off their beard. Now, verse 6, and when the children of Ammon saw that they had made themselves odious to David, Hanun and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire chariots and horsemen out of Mesopotamia and out of Syria, Makkah, and out of Zobah. And they hired 30 and 2,000 chariots, and the king of Makkah and his people to come and pitch before Mediba, yeah, okay, we can say that, the Medes. And the children of Ammon gathered themselves together from their cities and came to battle. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the hosts of the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put the battle in array before the gate of the city, and the kings that were come by themselves in the field. And now when Joab saw that the battle was set against him before and behind, he chose out of all the choice of Israel to put them in array against the Syrians. And the rest of the people he delivered into the hands of Abishai, his brother. Yes. And they set themselves in array against the children of Ammon. And he says, if the Syrians be too long for me, then thou shalt help me. But if the children of Ammon be too strong for thee, then I will help thee. Be of good courage, and let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people and for our cities of our God. And let the I am do that which is good in his sight. They didn't turn the other cheek here. They took vengeance. They went out. They did not love their enemies that did not love them. What is wrong with you? Please, let's get this right. The whole New Testament, the way it's presented to us, has been lies. And many of it are just bits and pieces of what we see here in what we call the Old Testament. These people trusted their God. They lived holy before their God. Many of them did. But the holiness that the Christian factions and all these other factions put forth are not the holy that God is talking about. His laws, commandments, statutes, and ordinances are the measure of our love for God as well as our love for our neighbor. It's a measure. It's that we might gauge what we have done wrong. If we don't know what we have done or what could possibly be the problem, then how could we repent? How can we be counted as holy or perfect or upright if we do not have a measure of what is upright and what is holy and what is clean and what is right? Huh? The mindset is wrong. If God did not say, well, if a man should lay with a woman in the field and she wasn't betrothed, then he should go to her father and ask her hand. If her father says, no, I don't want you to be my son-in-law, then the man shall give the dowry of virgins to her father and go about his way. This is what God says. This is a measure. This way her and you did not sin against each other and against the Most High, and that you just did your thing and you just went your way like most of the world does. And a lot of us have been taught and feel, oh, we're so free. No, you're not free, woman. You're not free, man. There's a lot to when you copulate apart from wedlock that you don't understand, that affects your spirit, your soul, and your mind. Brings you down to the deepest, darkest, mentality. You're headed that way. Even some of you have gone into whoredoms. And the men have gone into other lewd things. You just don't know the things that go down into your soul. Some of you do, and if you really think back and reflect on it, you'll see. If you look at that child that you have because you decided that I'm free, I do what I want, I can do it freely. God doesn't have no jurisdiction over me. You look at that child that's a bastard running around your house. You look at how the man looks at how he has to go to the woman who has children or who has numerous men in her mind. And so deep it could go. But nevertheless, I digress. But either way, to be of good courage, let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people and for the cities of our God, and let the I am do that which is good in his sight. Excuse me. So Joab and the people that were with him drew nigh before the Syrians unto battle, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, they likewise fled before Abishai his brother and entered into the city. Then Joab came to Jerusalem. And when the Syrians saw that they were put to the worst before Israel, They sent messengers and drew forth the Syrians that were beyond the river. And Shaphat, the captain of the host of Hadrezer, went before them. Now, you have those of Israel now, and you have the Syrians there. To tell you the truth, you will never have peace. You're in the wrong land. Those are in Israel. And the same thing with Syria. But the spirit that's there, the two spirits are there because it's going to steadily fight. Now, the spirit that's in Israel now is not that spirit of the Most High. No. There's another spirit there, but it's not the spirit of the Most High. The spirit that is in Syria is the same spirit that has been there for ages. And you will never have peace. But there's a point where God is going to rectify everything. Because the Jerusalem that they're occupying now is not the Jerusalem that should be. The Jerusalem that we're talking about is in Terad, which they call Jebus. And the ruins of the temple itself is also of the same exact layout as described in the 66 books. Yes, the same layout. Do your research. Now, but the Syrians fled before Israel, and David slew the Syrians 7,000 men which fought in chariots and 40,000 footmen, and killed Shaphat, the captain of the host. And when the servants of Hadrezer saw that they were put to the worst before Israel, they made peace with David and became his servants. Neither would the Syrians help the children of Ammon anymore. Now, did he say that we supposed to wait on God? And yeah, you wait on God. But what was the Syrians doing? They was going to subdue Israel. They had the spirit that spoke to their mind that Israel wished them evil, and that even with the king of Israel going there and showing his condolences to Hiram or Hadrezer or Hanan, whichever one, Hanan, they took it as evil and did the messengers no good. Isn't this the same way Christians and Israelites and everybody do to those that would prophesy? Now, you might get prophets coming eventually. They're not going to act like normal people. Some of you probably think they are mental. Just like you would think that some of these people here, the prophets of this time, were mental. But they're not. But because they were put to the worst before Israel, they made peace with David. This is part of God setting it up for Solomon to build. You cannot do a lot of building. You cannot do a lot of reflecting in war. For the fight, for the just running, for the mind. Your mind is steadily thinking about war and how you could stay alive and how you can subdue your enemies. War is different. You cannot really have a poetic people or nothing like that in war. No. So God is, see, there was no peace in David's time. David brought no peace to the servant of the Most High, even the servant that loved him more. There was no peace with him, and that he took his own wife, committed adultery and laid with her, and his own son. He did not even have a son with his own wife. Now David has a son, and this kingdom is rent in two. Not only before Solomon, but it's rent before David. David was the cause of the whole thing. Whether you agree or not, if you just really just delve into it and really ponder, David was the cause of the whole thing. Solomon is just a product. And then you had Jeroboam and Jehoshaphat. But regardless, if we do those things that are right in the sight of the Most High, we will have peace.
Walk with me.